Hello everyone, it's Marilyn from Traveling with Minivan Go. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for my subscribers. I really appreciate that. This is pretty awesome being so new. Today I am going to show you how I have worked on my Reflectix window coverings. I struggled quite a bit with it in the beginning when I first started out, trying to do what a lot of people did, using cardboard or just putting the Reflectix in there and trying to trace around it, but that didn't work for me. What I found really worked was just a simple piece of copy paper. And what I did was I put it up into the windows and taped it there, and I'm going to show you kind of how I did that. I already have the other window covered with my paper, so I'm going to take this window and show you what I did. You really don't need to do both windows, as the one window will be exactly like the other, only in reverse. So what you need to do is just take your paper, your copy paper, stick it up into the edges of your window. See if I can get this done one-handed. Anyhow, I tuck it up in there and I tape it down. And then I take the next piece of paper and I tuck it up in there and I tape it down. So that being said, let me come back over here to the other window that I have already had the paper inserted. As you can see, I've got it in all of the corners and all taped together. It's all tucked up in there nice and snug. And then what I do from this point, I just trace around with my pencil around the edge and get a nice line going. And when I'm done, I will have a nice template that I can use to cut out, and that is the dimensions of the window cover that I will need. I always make them just a little bit bigger so that they will tuck in there. And with this one, what I'm going to want to do is probably figure out how to fold it down right about in here so that I can fold it down and have some airflow. I need that airflow. We all need the airflow. Now all we need to do is to carefully take the template out of the window, making sure it doesn't tear, and then cut around my frame and then place it on the Reflectix and again draw around it. I will show you how I did that shortly. So very carefully, I'm taping everything from the window and very carefully undoing everything so that I can pull this down. Hopefully if everything is taped together, I will be okay. We'll see. But at least my lines should help give me a guidance. I'm losing you here. This is how I do things. So I will take this mess inside and try to straighten it out and go from there. Stay tuned. So I'm going into my local Home Depot store to look for the Reflectix that I need. This is why I like to come to Home Depot, because I get to see beautiful little puppies. Hi, sweetheart. How are you?
Yes, sir.
Hi. Aren't you the cutest thing? Yeah. Happy little girl.
Oh, yeah.
Girl, boy?
Yeah, she's a little girl.
She's beautiful.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah.
What's her name? So what used to be on the other end of the store is now supposedly up here in Bay 17, aisle 17. Oh, okay. Aisle 17. Exactly what I'm looking for. And it says it is on sale today for $8.97. Not a bad price at $9.97. Hi guys, I'm coming back at you today to finish up this video on how I made the window Reflectix covers for my van. I will zoom in a little bit closer to cut me out of the video, but you can see what I'll be doing. Now that we have the pattern drawn out on our paper and we have removed it from the window, the next thing we have to do is to transfer that pattern onto the Reflectix. So the first thing we need to do is to cut down our pattern along the drawn lines. So as you can see, we have our lines drawn around that show you the pattern of the window. This is the actual size of the pattern. So we have to cut that down so that we can trace around on the Reflectix. I'm going to cut right on the line. And then when you go to transfer the pattern onto the Reflectix, you can draw a little bit larger because you're going to need it for that extra room that will be required to make the window fit. If you made the exact same size as the window, it's going to fall out all the time. And then you'll be looking for an alternate way to attach it. And I have a solution for those too, because I have done exactly that with my rear windows. Plus, over the years, or over the months even, it seems that they aren't exactly the same shape they were when you started out. So they fall out, and you do need to find an alternate way to do it. And I will be showing you that. I have a couple different solutions. Some people attach magnets. Some people will get the suction cups. I have, instead of that, I use cut up credit cards or plastic cards about that size. I just cut them in half. Or you can use a hair, I want to call it a hairpin. It's not really, it's a barrette type of thing. The little spongy things, not really spongy. The little, oh, I'll have to show it to you. As I said earlier, you only need to make one template because both windows should be exactly the same. So by doing so, all you have to do is cut out the one piece of Reflectix. When you're done with that, you just flip your pattern over and you do it all over again, and you will have both windows well covered. Now what you will need to do is you will take your Sharpie or some type of a permanent marker. Make sure you can see the color on the Reflectix, and you just trace around it. And I'm tracing it the same size really as the template. And then when I go to cut it out, I will be cutting it out maybe 1/8 of an inch or so bigger, maybe even 1/4 of an inch, to allow for that extra room that will help keep it in place. I'm not very good at coloring or staying in the lines, never have been, but you kind of get the idea. It will be hard to see this, but the pattern is drawn onto my Reflectix. So now all I have to do is cut it out. And like I said, I am going to do it just a little bit larger, just a little bit outside those lines, maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. And rather than make you watch me cut this entire thing out, I'm going to put the video on pause and I will continue on. Okay, at this point you can see that I have the Reflectix cut out. You can see that I have cut out a little bit more around the edge, not directly on the line. This should allow you to go out now and test it into the window and see if it fits. And if it's a little too big, you can always cut a little bit off. If it's a little too small, you might have to start over or use the alternate methods of keeping it in place, or use the alternate methods to keep it in place. Okay, as you can see, I'm ready to test fit this into the one side of the van window. It helps if you do it in the right direction. And I need to cut it down just a little bit up here. But as you can see, even at that, it's a pretty good fit. I will trim it down just a little bit on this side. Now I will see what it fits, or how it fits on the other side. So now it is time to test fit this Reflectix into this window. I usually like to try to tuck this part of it down in behind this to give it a little added support, and then fit it from there. And as you can see, it's a very nice fit. I think I can call that one a success. Now you can even leave it like this, or like a lot of people do, you can add fabric to it, which is what I have done to the back windows. As you can see, I have some pink and gray and gold fabric on the window covers there. I don't have any of that fabric left, so I will probably just leave it like this because I really very seldom use these windows with the Reflectix. I want that airflow. And I don't know. We'll see as time goes by whether I really use these or not, but at least this gives you an idea on how to create your Reflectix for your windows. If you decide that you would like to have a fabric covering your Reflectix, find the type of fabric that you would like. I would suggest a thin, lightweight material. I happen to get lucky with this particular piece of material. It fits just quite well. And before you cut it out, what I do is I take the Reflectix, and on the opposite side, I'm going to spray it with a spray adhesive of some type. I'm not going to do that at this point because I don't happen to have any, and I haven't gotten to Joann's or Walmart lately to pick any up. Although I haven't really decided whether I want to use this black fabric or not. I don't do stealth camping, so I probably will just leave it the way it is. But I digress. You spray the opposite side, make sure it's well covered, lay it down on your fabric, and press it out nice and evenly as you can, and let it dry. It's a lot easier to cut down a big piece of fabric afterwards than it is to fit them all together. You know, cut it out, fit it all together, spray it. That didn't work so well, it made a mess. So take the big piece of fabric, lay your Reflectix on it, glue it down with a spray adhesive, let it dry, and then cut it out. Sometimes you might have to sew around the edge to make it fit properly, and that will give it a really nice edging, and it does help with the staying power, at least for a little while. Now let's talk about alternative ways to keep your window coverings in. As I said, mine have been in my windows full time since I got the van a year ago and did these windows. These are the only ones that do not get taken out, but they still fall out after a while. But here's one of the things that I've done. You can see I have one of those hair clips right here. All it is the type that you can pinch together, and they fit right in there so nice. The other thing I have done is I take a plastic card about the size of a credit card or a driver's license. Here you can see that I have my old medical insurance card. Those numbers are no longer any good. I get a new card every other year, so I can use this card. What I did is I cut it in half, or you can cut it the other way so that you have longer strips. But anyhow, what I do is I just slide them right up in there, and that holds it in so well. I have had to use these on my back window as well. That window covering has no longer, it just won't stay in place no matter what I do. So I use these plastic cards and these hair clips, and it works very well. So there you have it. I hope this video has helped you on how to make your window Reflectix coverings. If it has, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. I thank everyone who has watched my videos and who has subscribed. Thank you so much for following along. Have a wonderful day.